This is SportsCenter.
Hey, I'm Marissa Berto. We've got some huge news out of Minnesota, as Kirill Kaprizov and the Wild have come to terms on an 8-year extension, which will make him the highest paid player in NHL history. Kaprizov has been one of the league's top scorers since day one, as he ranks 10th in the NHL in points per game since his debut in 2020. And when you mix that kind of production with some massive jumps in the NHL salary cap, you get deals like this one. For as big of a day it was for number 97 of the Wild, we can expect all eyes to be on another 97 very soon. Because as with Kaprizov getting $17 million a year, what kind of money is Connor McDavid going to be getting? But that's a conversation for when it happens. When is it gonna happen? But for today, let's just congratulate Kirill Kaprizov. Week 4 in the NFL is officially in the books, after an eventful Monday night doubleheader, which saw the Dolphins finally get in the win column, but they paid a dear price in doing so. While the Bengals got absolutely crushed for a second straight week without Joe Burrow. But the biggest news to come out of that double dip was the devastating injury to Miami star receiver Tyreek Hill, who suffered a gruesome knee injury, which Adam Schefter is reporting that it's much worse than the dislocated knee that the team originally revealed. He reportedly also tore his ACL and other ligaments in his knee. With more on that and the week that was in the NFL, we're joined by our analyst, David Sanchez. Great to see you again, Chezzy.
Good to see you, buddy.
As you mentioned, Tyreek Hill has reportedly torn his ACL and other ligaments in the knee he dislocated last night. And this comes just a day after Malik Neighbors also tore his ACL. With both teams coming off their first wins in those games and sitting at 1-3, do you think the Dolphins or Giants have a better chance of continuing to turn their season around without their star receivers?
Yeah, can I say neither? I don't think either of these teams have a shot at turning things around and making the playoffs. Even culturally, I think they're both done. And if you look at the math, the Miami Dolphins could legit, after the win last night, they could legit win 8 more games. And that would put them at least in the conversation for a wild card bid. But I think Mike McDaniel's lost that room. I think that the loss of Tyreek Hill, the comments he made after Tyreek was injured, it just seemed off to me. Again, his press conferences, much of what he's been saying seems off to me lately. I just think that team, although they do have some weapons offensively and some young pieces on defense, I just think they're done. And for New York, Jackson Dart gives them a small hope. Scatterboo is a guy that people love. But again, they just don't. Their schedule is too difficult. They don't have a shot. I think both these coaches get fired, and I don't think either of them have a shot.
Now, only 2 teams remain unbeaten through 4 weeks: the defending champs from Philly and the Bills, powered by their reigning MVP. The Eagles have had a much tougher schedule, but the Bills' wins have been more convincing. So, which team has impressed you more?
Most impressive to me have been the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, and look, saying this, the Eagles are impressive, is difficult because top to bottom, their roster entering this season is the best in the NFL. So why are we surprised, or why impressed with the fact that they're 4-0? Well, first of all, it's who they beat. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are the AFC champions, the best team in the AFC last year. And then their other 3 wins have been versus 3 of the top 5 teams in the NFC. And I know that this is probably at least a conversation and controversy, but the NFC is a better conference now. It just is. And that has not been the case for the last 5 years at least. But the NFC is a better conference right now. And the fact that they're 4-0 with beating the Chiefs, and then the 3 tough teams in the NFC, the Eagles are most impressive. That being said, the Bills also are 4-0 without their biggest reason for optimism on their defense is their young corner, Maxwell Harrison, who has not been out there. So that's impressive. And also Ed Oliver not being out there. So any weaknesses we see in the Bills defense, and there are some weaknesses, they can be overcome when you get Oliver back and the youngster Maxwell Harrison comes in.
Thanks again, Chezzy.
Thank you.
And Week 5 kicks off in just a couple of days with a great Thursday night football matchup between the 49ers and Rams, with top spot in the NFC West on the line. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific with TNF tonight, with kickoff scheduled just over an hour later on TSN. Over Over to the association where the NBA's annual media day was in full swing yesterday. And of course it did not disappoint. The headliner came from LA, as we heard Kawhi Leonard speak for the first time about the salary cap circumvention allegations between him and the Clippers.
Do you have any reaction or statement regarding some of the things that have been alleged over the last month?
No. I mean, the NBA is going to do their job. None of us did no wrongdoing. Yeah, I mean, that's it. We invite the investigation. It's not going to be a distraction for me or the rest of the team.
While his comments were unsurprising, the fact that he addressed it at all was a pretty big shock, as this situation is still very much ongoing. In fact, even more allegations against Steve Ballmer and the Clippers dropped yesterday, this time claiming that Ballmer donated nearly $2 million to the charity of Aspiration's co-founder a year and a half after their deal ended, which is important because according to Ballmer himself, that same co-founder conned him. This is all still just alleged, but it's not looking good for the Clippers. And speaking of LA, the Lakers were also in the news on Media Day, and that's thanks to LeBron James. Entering his record 23rd year in the league, there are a ton of questions about how much longer he'll continue to play. And interestingly, LeBron was pretty non-committal. First, he said he's not going to wait to play with his son Bryce. And then when he was asked directly about if he'd be back for another media day next year, all he said was, maybe. LeBron has played more basketball than nearly every other player in NBA history, so it's not surprising his future's up in the air. But could it really be the last year we see King James in the NBA? We'll have to wait and see, eh? While we're unsure about LeBron's future in the league, two former MVPs are very clear about theirs. Those two are Nikola Jokic and Kevin Durant. The Joker silenced the rumors that he could be on his way out of Denver, as he was clear he wants to be a Nugget for life. And fresh off a trade to Houston, KD said he sees himself signing an extension with the Rockets. Pen has not yet been put to paper, but it has to be a huge sigh of relief for both Denver and Houston. Now we just have to wait and see when these extensions actually get done. Time now for my favorite segment on yours, that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
As we mentioned, yesterday was NBA Media Day, and that gave us some great new memes and our first look at players and their new threads. However, I want to see how the players are living off the court. We have that power. Listen, we did get a chance to see Devin Booker's man cave, as he gave a tour to YouTube streamer iShowSpeed. And this is definitely worthy of an episode of Cribs.
You gotta show me around.
Show you around.
Damn, what? You got a collection here, man. Oh my goodness. These cars crazy though.
All in polished front line. 57, 58, 59.
This is a damn collection right here. Oh yeah. Yo, this warehouse crazy though.
Kobe wall.
We're right here, just the Kobe wall?
Right. This is Olympics in the middle.
Oh.
So them Steph joints.
Damn.
JT. Medals.
This is crazy, bro. Chat, look at this whole warehouse. Bro, how do you even get this much shoes, bro? How do you even... Oh, it's a... Wow. Wow. What the hell?
Get some swings, man.
Hey, I'm not like a Happy Gilmore type of guy, but I can.
I was expecting that shoe collection, but dang, those Impalas. And the organization, very impressive, I must say. A little jealous. The WNBA playoffs resume tonight when the Aces host the Caitlin Clark-less Fever in a winner-go-home Game 5. Our friends at FanDuel have Vegas as a massive favorite heading into this one, but despite being ravaged by injuries, Indy continues to be resilient. Do they have another upset up their sleeves? With more on this clash tonight, we're bringing in our gambling guru, Wes Cheng. Thanks for joining us, Wes.
Hey, great to be back.
Gotta get down to brass tacks. Brother, what's your best bet for tonight?
I like Leah Boston to get 10 or more rebounds. I think the most important note is that this is a winner-take-all game. I expect both teams to have the star players out there as long as humanly possible. And even though it's a really big spread, I think the Fever are going to keep this game closer than expected in an elimination spot. Ever since Clark's went down, they've been surviving by crashing the glass, getting to the free throw line. Boston's a huge part of that formula. She's averaged 11.5 during the series, covered in 3 of 4. I think she has to keep doing that if the Fever are going to have any chance.
The Fever are heavy underdogs without stars like Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark, and are paying a whopping plus 1,500 to win the championship. Now, there's obviously great value there, but do you see a realistic pathway for them to actually complete this Cinderella run?
How much more real can it get? The Fever are 1 win away from making the WNBA Finals. Now, this was a team that was 500 to 1 to win the chip at one point during this postseason, but who cares? They're here now. And you take an example from Asia Wilson. She was 100-1 to win MVP, and then that went down. I think you got to point out the Lynx are gone, the Liberty are gone. Those are the two championship favorites. With Phoenix on the other side, kind of feels like anything can happen. At implied probability of 6.3%, which is what 15-1 is, I'd absolutely take a dart throw considering there's only 3 teams left. Even without Caitlin Clark, the truth is anything can happen.
Great to see you again, Wes. Enjoy the game tonight.
You as well.
And you can catch this do or die Game 5 tonight with coverage beginning at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on TSN. Today is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. We are wearing pins by Shop Love Collective, a Canadian women-owned e-commerce store specializing in custom t-shirts and collections, promoting inclusivity, including reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. This year, Shop Love Collective is donating $1 for every orange heart pin sold to the Gord Downie and Chani Wenjack Fund, an Indigenous-led charity working to build cultural understanding and create a path toward reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. When you purchase an orange heart pin using the promo code TSN, Shop Love Collective will double their donation to the Gord Downie and Chani Wenjack Fund. To show your support, visit shoplovecollective.ca.